Hello everyone again. Like I said in my last video, I'm going to talk about vacation a little bit here, where I've visited. I went to Paris about a month after being here. My French tutor from back at SLU, she is currently staying in Paris, or living in Paris for just a little bit. So I went up there and visited her, and we saw a few different of the monuments and things like that. And then went around town, hung out. As well, I went to the Paris Auto Show, or Salon de l'Automobile, à Paris, or de Paris, je pense. I don't know. But I have some photos on my Facebook, and I can send a link in the description below for that. May take me a second after I upload the video to put everything, all the links and stuff in, but they'll be there soon. Yes, I went to Paris. I like the city. The people are not necessarily too nice, but you're gonna find that people are gonna be a little more stiff, snobbish in some of the big cities, anyways. So yeah, it's one of the things you just gotta deal with. Overall, I really like the architecture of the city, the history of it, and whatnot. As well, for les vacances de la Toussaint, or fall break, which is in France occurs the week before the week of All Saints Day, which is a Catholic holiday, 1st November. So essentially the whole week of Halloween this year. I went to Barcelona and then Madrid. I had a friend who lived in Madrid for about a year. He claimed it's the best city ever. No, I take it back. He didn't claim it's the best city ever. He talked about it a lot, and he had a lot of fun there. But it was definitely a different experience because he lived in the city as opposed to just visiting it. And then, like I said, I went to Barcelona first, and then Madrid. I took a bus the whole way. If you plan your trip ahead of time, the bus is fine. I took ID Bus, which is a bus company through SNCF, which is a French transportation company slash train company. And from Lyon to Barcelona, it was great. Had no issues at all. And then I took ALSA, ALSA, from Barcelona to Madrid, and that was a little different. It was a night bus there, and a night bus from Madrid back to Barcelona, and both of them, like, everyone was sick, and it was nasty, and I ended up getting sick afterwards. I was sick for about a week or so, with a real bad mal à la gorge, which throat ache, coughing, couldn't really eat because it hurt. Anyways, yeah, I don't really, if you can plan it ahead of time when you travel, I definitely recommend either taking a train or a plane. Try to plan ahead of time. Mine was really last minute, so that was the least expensive option for me. And the easiest. Anyways, Barcelona, we stayed in the Gothic Quarter, which is kind of one of the older areas. But it was really, really cool. The architecture was amazing. I went and took quite a few tours of the city. It was really cool. I stayed at Equity Point Gothic, which I highly recommend. It was only like €7 or €8 a night, and it was nice. Nothing fancy. They had breakfast in the morning, which is cereal and milk and juice, and you could have toast. So nothing fancy. No meat, just plain. Yeah, but it was really nice. Did that, took a bunch of tours, bought some souvenirs. I bought I don't know if I have it here. No, I bought a Catalonian flag, one of their flags for independence, when I was there, which is good, something to have back in the States. And then a few souvenirs for the restaurant family. And what else did you? That Went to the Picasso Museum. Both Pablo Picasso and Gaudi, Gaudi. They're both really big artists there, as well as I don't know if Salvador Dali was big there or not. In one of the museums, I saw some of his paintings and stuff. I said he was big there, but I didn't really hear too many people talk about him. I'd really like to go to Barcelona again in the future. But yeah, also the food there was really good. What was nice too is that they speak Catalan there. I'm able to speak French, but I don't really speak too much Spanish. But since their close proximity to France, it's just like right there. So I was able to communicate with them enough. Pardon. I was able to talk with them in French or kind of a French-ish speech, because Catalan or Catalonian is close enough to French that you kind of mélange the language. The food's really cool. The atmosphere is really cool. The people were really nice. And yeah, I'd really like to go back again. And so, bus ride over to Madrid. Not as big of a fan of Madrid. It's an alright city. It's in the middle of the desert, so it's warm days, cold nights. It was also kind of fall time, so you're gonna kind of get into the colder weather at night. But yeah, just went there. Went to quite a few museums there. There's a lot. And so I did that, went on a couple different tours of the city. The history of Madrid and Castilian Spain, I'm not as big a fan of as I am of Catalonian Spain. And if you guys don't know, Catalonia is essentially where everywhere they speak Catalan, essentially the southwest corner of France, and then the northeast corner of Spain, and kind of down a little bit more towards the middle. I think it stops a little bit north of Valencia. But yeah, that's where they speak Catalan. And it was fun. But in Madrid, people were a little more stiff, a little more snobbish. The same thing like I talked about in Paris. But yeah, it was alright. The food was good. What was I gonna say? Food was good. People at the hostel it was a nice hostel. They didn't really speak, they only spoke Spanish, which I can't necessarily expect them to speak English or French or anything else because they're there. I did get in a little bit of trouble with them on the last night, but I'll talk about that. Actually, I can talk about this one. Yeah, I had met someone at a bar, and went back, and apparently the hostel had rules on not bringing people back. And she left early in the morning, but the hostel officials or the owners of the hostel were not too happy about that. And so they kind of got a little pissed and charged me for a night for her. Not like that, but charged me as if she was a resident, if she was staying there a night, which I guess she did. But so I had to pay something like 23 euros for a night. That place was a lot more expensive. A little bit nicer, but a lot more expensive. But yeah, so it was Madrid. I was a big fan. Took a bus back from Madrid to Barcelona, and then was going to take a bus from Barcelona to Lyon, which I did take a bus, but I kind of messed up my scheduling because I thought my bus was going to arrive later, and so I'd have to stay all day. But apparently there was another bus that I could have could have taken during the day from Barcelona. And from Barcelona to Madrid with Edibus, but I had scheduled the night one. And so instead of having to sit in the city for 14 hours, having not showered and getting some reek on me, I decided to try to find another bus to Lyon. I found one. The guy said it was 17 euros. Paid for it, looked at the receipt, and it was 70 euros. Potential language barrier, potentially he was just an ass. He was being kind of rude. He was also kind of rushed, it seemed. There were a lot of people in line, so could have been that. I don't really blame him too much, but it sucked because it was 53 euros more than I wanted to pay, which ends up being quite a bit in dollars, which is the currency in which I was working. With my card. These are euros. These are dollars. A little different. So, yeah, that kind of sucked. So, I ended up buying a ticket, got back to Lyon late at night as opposed to early in the morning. So the next video I'm going to talk about, I'm working here a little bit. Because I do have a year-long visa, so I'm able to work. I'm going to talk about that in my next video. I'll have a link somewhere right here.